after.
76 low. Heads!
A weaker man might be moved to re-examine his faith. If in nothing else, at least the law of probability. The law of probability, it has been oddly asserted, is the proposition that if six monkeys were...
Game?
Were they?
Are you?
Game. The law of averages, if I've got this right, says that if 6 monkeys are thrown up in the air for long enough, they'll land on their tails about as often as they would land on their
Heads!
Which even at first glance is not a particularly rewarding speculation. In either case, with or without the monkeys. I mean, you wouldn't bet on it. I mean, I would, but you wouldn't.
Heads.
Would you?
Heads! 85. Beating the record.
Don't be absurd.
Easily.
Is that it then? Is that all?
What?
A new record. Is that as far as you are prepared to go?
Well, I won, didn't I?
And if you lost, if they come down against you, one after another, just like that.
85 in a row? Tails?
Yes. What would you think?
Well, I'd have a good look at your coins for a start.
I'm relieved. At least we can still count on self-interest as a predictable factor. I suppose it's the last to go. Your capacity for trust made me wonder if perhaps you alone. Touch. We've been spinning coins together since. This is not the first time we've spun coins.
Oh no, we've been spinning coins for as long as I remember.
How long is that?
Mind you, 85 times.
Yes.
It'll take some beating, I imagine.
Is that what you imagine? No fear.
Fear?
Fear!
Heads! Moving heads! 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 I'm afraid.
So am I.
I'm afraid it isn't your day.
I'm afraid it is.
89.
It must be indicative of something besides the redistribution of wealth. A list of possible explanations. 1. I'm willing it. Inside where nothing shows, I'm the essence of a man spinning double-headed coins and betting against himself in private atonement for an unremembered past.
Heads!
2. Time has stopped dead, and the single experience of one coin being spun once has been repeated 90 times. On the whole, doubtful. 3. Divine intervention. That is to say, a good turn from above concerning him, cf. Children of Israel, or retribution from above concerning me, cf. Lot's wife. 4. Spectacular vindication of the principle that each individual coin spun individually is as likely to come down heads as tails, and therefore should cause no surprise that each individual time it does.
I've never heard anything like it.
And a syllogism. 1, she's never done anything like it. 2, she's never done anything to write home about. 3, there's nothing to write home about. Home. What's the first thing you remember?
What's the first thing that comes to my head, you mean?
No, what's the first thing you remember?
Oh, no. It's gone. It was a long time ago.
I don't think you catch my meaning. What is the first forgotten.
Oh, I see. The first thing. After all the things. God. I've forgotten the question.
Are you happy?
What?
Content? At ease?
I suppose so.
What are you going to do now?
Well, I don't know. What do you want to do?
I have no desires. None. Oh, that's right. There was a messenger. We had been sent for. Syllogism the second. 1. Probability is a factor which operates within natural forces. 2. Probability has not been operating as a factor. 3. We are now within un, sub, or supernatural forces. Discuss.
Oh.
Not too heatedly.
I'm sorry. What's the matter with you?
The scientific approach to the examination of phenomenon is a defense against the pure emotion of fear. Now, keep tight hold and continue while there's time. Counter to the previous syllogism, a tricky one, follow me carefully, it might prove a comfort. If we postulate and we just have that within unsub or supernatural forces, the probability is that the law of probability will not operate as a factor. In which case, we must accept that the probability of the first part will not operate as a factor, in which case the law of probability will operate as a factor within unsub or supernatural forces. That's a great relief to me personally. And it's all fine and well, except that a messenger arrived. We had been sent for. And nothing else happened. And on the last 3 minutes, on the wind of a windless day, I've heard the sound of drums and flutes.
Another curious scientific phenomenon is the fact that the fingernails grow after death, as does the beard.
What?
Beard!
But you're not dead.
I didn't say they start to grow after death. The fingernails also grow before birth. No, not the beard. Huh.
What?
Beard! What's the matter with you? The toenails, on the other hand, never grow at all.
The toenails, on the other hand, never grow at all.
Do they? It's a funny thing, really. I cut my fingernails every time they need cutting. Now, for instance, to the best of my knowledge, I never cut my toenails. They would be curled under my feet by now, but that doesn't happen. Perhaps I cut them absent-mindedly when I'm thinking of something else. Huh.
Do you remember the first thing that happened today?
I woke up, I suppose. Oh, that's right, that man! A foreigner! He came for us!
A messenger.
Pale sky before dawn, a man standing on a saddle to bang on the shutter shouts, "Hey, what's all the row about? Clear off!" And then he called our names. You remember that man woke us up.
Yes.
It was urgent. A matter of extreme urgency. No questions asked. Lights in the stable yard, saddle up and off head dog and hot foot all across the land. Our guys outstripped the breakneck. Fearful lest we come too late. Yeah, God, get on there. Yeah, whoa, whoa, get on there. Come on, come on. You got it out. Come on.
Too late for what?
I don't know, we ain't got there yet.
Then what are we doing here, I ask myself.
You might well ask.
We better get on.
You might well think.
We better get on.
Right. On where?
Forward.
Which way did we?
Practically starting from scratch, an awakening. A man standing in his saddle, a message, summons. We have not been picked out merely to be abandoned. We would have been entitled to some direction, I would have thought. The colors red, blue, and green are real. The color yellow is a mystical experience shared by everybody. Demolish.
It had to be a band. Like thunder.
A man breaking his journey between one place and another at a third place of no name, character, population, or significance sees a unicorn cross his path. Now, that in itself is alarming, but there are precedents for mystical encounters of various kinds, or, to put it another way, a choice of fancies. That is, until, my God, says a second man, I thought I saw a unicorn.
Where?
At which point a new dimension is added that makes the experience as alarming as it ever will be. A third witness, you understand, adds no further dimension but only spreads it thinner, and a fourth thinner still, and on until it is as thin as reality, the name we call the common experience. Look, look, recites the crowd. A horse with an arrow in its forehead. It must have been mistaken for a deer.
I knew all along it was a band.
She knew all along it was a band.
Here they come.
I'm sorry it wasn't a unicorn. It would have been nice to have you.
Halt! An audience. Don't move. Good. A lucky thing we came along.
Why's that?
Why? We'd grow rusty. And you caught us at the very point of decadence. By this time tomorrow, we might have forgotten everything we ever knew. That's a thought, isn't it? We'd be right back where we started. Improvising.
Tumblers, are you?
We can give you a tumble if that's your taste, and times being what they are. Otherwise, for a jingle of coin, we could do you a selection of gory romances full of fine cadence and corpses, pirated from the Italian. And it doesn't take much to make a